just got back from a walk and I literally am trying to be better at making videos. I was like, you know what? I'll make a video. So here we are making a video. My room looks like a complete mess. I know you can't really tell. Actually, you can kind of tell. But we're gonna watch the second Avatar movie. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Getting some energy. And also, I think I'm just gonna vlog my whole week. I'm hoping this week to knock out the Cruel Prince trilogy. I have all 3 books right now. My TBR for this month is actually insane. I don't think I've actually shown you guys my new setup, but it is quite the setup. This is my TBR. And that's my bookcase back there. I literally don't know if I showed you guys that. Maybe me setting it up. I don't know. It's 370 pages. I'm on page 320, so I want to finish this today. Maybe before my friend shows up. This book, so many people say get mad. I feel like they've gotten mad about it. Like, oh my gosh, it's not a romance. It's a romance. Today. It is Wednesday. Yesterday was super fun. I was able to finish The Cruel Prince. I was able to finish The Cruel Prince yesterday. I didn't talk anything about it. I loved it. I still don't know what to rate it though. Give me a minute to compose my thoughts. I liked everything about this book. I think I'm gonna rate it a 4 stars. It was amazing. I definitely would read it if you're into fantasy romances and more high fantasy stuff. This took a lot of brain power for me to figure out. I feel like there's a lot going on. Whereas even if I compare it to the Shadow and Bone series, which I just finished, I feel like I had an easier time understanding that than this. But this is also definitely very folk, very whimsical fantasy, is what I would call it. Main character Jude, who gets stolen from the human world with her twin sister and her half-sister. And they grow up in this fantasy world, and then eventually there has to be a power change. And a bunch of stuff happens. Jude has to make a lot of decisions. This is what I would call straight up enemies to lovers. I don't think you can really go any farther than this book did, because it... Can you stay there? Thank you. The amount of times that the enemy... This is more than bickering. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is more than I just hate you. It's like...
I am literally gonna kill you. And watch you be killed, and bully the heck out of you, and just be mean.
But I've been rooting for them this whole time.
Ending blew my mind. I did not expect that for the ending.
That was not the romance, and you should know, too. Do not fall for Locke. He is a butthole. We don't like him.
I'm excited for the next book, which I have with me, The Wicked King. I also have The Queen of Nothing. One thing I think that kind of defers my rating is the fact that this definitely gives me more fall vibes than summer vibes. It's definitely a cozy fantasy to me. I'm going to go ahead and read for a little bit The Wicked King and then get back to my cleaning, because I do need to do that and finish that later in the day. I've got this thing going on. My hair. I tried to do this thing once. It failed, so I'm trying it again because it worked out so great for me. I read this a little bit more. Again, I feel like I'm kind of in a little bit of a reading slump. but I've only gotten like 20 pages into this. It's pretty interesting so far. The plot of this one is skip to this number, so you don't get any spoilers if you don't want to hear anything. Cardan is obviously crowned the High King of Elfhame, and he is basically sired under Jude. He set an oath that basically gives Jude control of him. And it's interesting how all this glamour and powers and all that kind of stuff works in this world. It's a lot. That's what I have trouble comprehending. Like, I could not name everything in here, what people can do and all that stuff. But from the base of it, if Jude commands anything from Cardan, he has to do it. But he's on the crown because Oak, her younger brother, who's technically not even related to her now that I just realized, but they're a weird family, has their blood in it, which is somehow related to the sire bond with the crown, because the crown can only go on these bloodlines, people's heads. Obviously, the last book,
Whole family basically got murdered.
I think it's hilarious. I call this a cozy fantasy, and I feel like I need to refrain from that, because Cardan never wanted to be king, and she crowned him anyway, and sent Oak to the human world so that he can get older and not be raised for bloodshed and be screwed up with Madoc and all that stuff.
How Madoc even lets her live is without, I have no idea. I don't know why he even, lets her live after doing that.
Locke just needs to go. Jump off the palace wall. Moving on, I did stop that because I needed a little fantasy break, and I started probably my easiest book on my TBR. This is literally just a filler book, diary things almost. There's a whole bunch of them in the series. I have 6 left to read. This one is a diary from Pearl Harbor, historical fiction. My laptop over here because I am working on a project right now that I'm super excited for. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing? Good. Great.
Do they fit?
Yeah, but
Today we're going to Disney. I'm very excited.
Disney.
I got my Mickey ears, my bag. I'm dressed for the Little Mermaid.
Hi guys.
Except we're not even going to the Little Mermaid.
She's vlogging too.
Do you feel proud? It is not the morning. I was gonna say good morning, but it's not the morning. It's like 3 p.m. right now. To be honest, yesterday was a crazy fest.
I collapsed in Disney.
If you don't know this, I suffer from a bunch of different chronic illnesses and autoimmune diseases, a bunch of health issues. So, been trying to work through that. If you want to know more about that, you can check out my Instagram. I'm on there pretty much every day, giving updates, sharing my journey, all that stuff. I am so hot right now. I went for a walk involuntarily. My sister needed me to let out one of the dogs. She's dog sitting, but I did it in full-on sweats. I'm so excited because I got all my books in that I ordered. I'm gonna see if I can lift all these. Okay, these are all of the books that I bought.
Literally, who's calling me? From Claremont, Florida. This is the second time they've called me. I feel like it's important they should leave a voicemail, right? I just don't know who that is. Okay, we're just gonna ignore it.
I finished The Cruel Prince book moved on to The Wicked King. I have made no more progress in this book than the last time I talked to you about it. I'm still 20 pages in. Honestly, I needed a break from fantasy. I don't want to take it out on this series. I'm glad I read the first one, but I am a little fantasied out. So I started my easy book on my TBR and got like 15 pages into this, which I already talked about. Made no more progress on this book because it's not drawing me in. It's not giving me what I want. So that's terrible. This is literally on Pearl Harbor. So then I got this big old Amazon order and I started, what is this called? Party Your World by Abby Jimenez. This is a very popular rom-com book. I'm about 103 pages into it. Now, one thing you should know about me is I am not a spice reader. I don't like reading spice. I don't like reading open door romances. I don't like reading that kind of stuff. It's just not my area that I enjoy.
Oh my gosh, they're literally calling again. This is freaking me out. Okay, I'm gonna ignore it again. If they call me again, I think I'm gonna have to answer it.
I'm not interested in reading spice. It's not my thing. To me, it makes me feel disconnected from characters. It makes me feel like the relationship between two characters is purely physical, and also on a moral sense, it just doesn't fall under what I want to read personally. My personal opinion, if you want to read that, go ahead, but that's not what you're going to be getting here. I'm going to honestly review and rate books so that if you don't want to read books with spice, I'm going to let you know. If they have spice, I'll let you know. That's just what I'm going to do here. This book starts off with a one-night stand. So this was categorized as a, okay, there's a voicemail. I feel like I need to calm down. I'm so sorry, that was my rheumatologist. Back to Party Your World. This book I started because obviously I'm excited of all the books that I literally got. I got 6 new books and I want to read them all. So buying books helps your reading slump, I feel like. But I started this and again, this is not a closed door romance. This is a, I want to say, cracked door romance. There's implication of spice and all that stuff, and obviously like you kind of know what's happening, but it's not to a graphical extent. So is it annoying? Yes. Do I kind of feel disconnected from the characters? Yes, a little bit. But genuinely, like as I've gotten to know the characters throughout, they're so cute and they're so sweet. This is about Daniel and Alexis. This is about Daniel and Alexis. Alexis is a big doctor for her family practice, and she's like the big name of hospitals and all this stuff. So she kind of lives a more city life and has more money and is very well off. And then you have Daniel, who is from a small town called Wakan, I think is what it is called. I'm so sorry, it's storming outside. But he lives a very different life than her. He's the mayor of this little town, but also does a bunch of different jobs and stuff for everybody. The little town works together. He works with, what else does he do? He's like a carpenter. He works in the tourism area, all this stuff. Airbnb, that's what he does. He has an Airbnb in this very small little town. Alexis runs her car into a ditch, and that's how they meet. He ends up towing her out, and then they like talk or whatever, and then she gets stuck in this town or whatever for a little bit because her car's whatever and it's foggy. So that's kind of how their story begins. We learn a lot more about the characters in this. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I'll continue to let you know my thoughts on this book. Excuse the rain. I know it's loud. I hope you guys can still hear me. So these 3 books are the ones that I'm sticking with. I really would like to finish these before starting another book, because that's a lot of books to be in the middle of, personally. This is Molly. She's my puppy. Yeah, high five. Good girl. I love you. Next book I got is Beach Read by Emily Henry. Have no idea about this book. This cover absolutely gorgeous. Makes me feel like summer. I had to get it. I'm excited to read Emily Henry. I've heard that this is one of her top books, along with Happy Place, but I know that Happy Place is different than her normal writing style. So, starting with Beach Read, the cover is absolutely gorgeous. Next, I got Six of Crows and The Crooked Kingdom. I was so excited to immerse back into the Grishaverse. I am so excited. This is the duology off of Shadow and Bone, and there's another duology that's also off Shadow and Bone called King of Scars, I believe. But I'm literally making this entire shelf. And then the last books I'm going to hold up are The Serpent and the Wings of Night and The Ashes and The Starcursed King duology. This is like, first of all, these books, way bigger than I thought they were. All of these books are way bigger than I thought they were. Very, very heavy. These two books are apparently a mix between Hunger Games, Divergent, but with vampires. And I am very excited. I've said that about all of them, but this sounds absolutely amazing. I'm sorry. I just smacked her in the mouth. I'm sorry. Oh, bless you. I'm sorry. Nora and I are watching the act right now. It's really scary. She loves it with all of her heart. I'm on the last 2 chapters and I literally cried already. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how. A 5-star. I did not expect that. The last 4th of the book is what made this book a 5-star, okay? I died. It put me in the mood to reading again. This is definitely what I needed to get out of my little reading slump. And now I'm gonna delve back into The Wicked King. I, again, didn't get any farther in this. I'm gonna try reading this again. See what happens, see how far I get into it. If not, then I'll have to resort to something else. To be completely honest, my bookshelf is hardcore stressing me out because it's not organized how I want it to be organized. Anyway, I really hope you liked this video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.